And here we are. We're back in action. So we were just talking about these shows. You went out to Davis, did the shows out there, and yeah, you're going to get into sharing a story with us. What is that?
This was a Ruthie's Inn story. The first time we played with Blind Illusion was 1985, and this was Burnt Offering. This wasn't Frightmare. What it was is Mark Biederman, he had kind of a makeshift lineup, and Les Claypool was on bass. And the drummer of Primus was on the drums, and Larry was on guitar with Mark Biederman. It was just like a one-time thing. It was just like a star-studded cast of people.
And the shirt you're wearing is the record that Les and Larry recorded with
Yep.
on that record, and Mark's still doing it with some real super young guys. He's still keeping the Blind Illusion name and legacy alive. Mark Biederman, guitar player, singer extraordinaire from
Yep.
Blind Illusion, and man, so
Played with him for the 6th time
is that right?
a few months ago, yeah.
Where
Since
was this at?
85. Played with him at, what was it, Toots Tavern.
Cool.
With,
Yeah, Toots
Short
is awesome.
Fuse played, Blind Illusion. I can't even remember the other bands. I was so buzzed after the show.
Where did you play shows with Project Mayhem AD? Where was this at, and what other bands were part
Toots
of that?
Tavern.
Toots,
We
okay.
did 3 shows with him.
Wow, nice.
3 shows.
That's
in
Ruby
24 and one in
Sin's
25.
group.
2 in 24, 1 in 25.
Yeah. So you're part of the metal scene back then up to the current. Man, you know, I just love your drive and your passion for wanting to do it. I mean, most people would just give up, and
Thank you, David.
25 years it's to come back and to do a record, because I know I was off the scene for 8 years. Started in 2010 and had a good run until 17, and then not until 2025 that I came back. So it's easy to give up, especially when you try to find committed people, and you got to rely on other people to have this band. We can't go out there alone to do it.
No.
So we need the team, and that's great. So you got Tom Dykes on guitar. Give the people a little history. Maybe we'll be lucky enough to interview Tom one day. But Tom Dykes is old school Bay Area too, right?
Tom Dykes is kind of an interesting guy. Yes, he's very old school Bay Area. His original band was called Circus of Fear, and
Great name.
they did a lot of shows.
I approve.
They played the Mabuhay Gardens. They played the Stone.
Wow.
He opened for Paul Di'Anno's solo record, the first one.
Was it before Battlezone, Paul Di'Anno?
I believe
Wow.
so. I believe so.
Tom goes back that far. Wow.
Yeah.
See, I was in Florida wasting many years, but I love living vicariously through guys like you and Tom and, you know, Jeff Thorpe and Rick Hunnell. They share these stories with me, and I just feel like, man, even though I wasn't in the Bay Area at the time, like I'm getting all the great stuff from back in the day. Wow. So,
Absolutely.
Tom, what anything between Circus of Fear and Frightmare with Tom Dykes?
Well, other than that, I think Tom has done like other projects, just jamming with people, but I don't know if they were actually legitimate bands. He's like jammed with many different people, but I think Circus of Fear is his main band. That was like his first and main band, and you know, most interesting, I think.
Right on. Cool, man. So, when did you hook up with Tom to do this currently?
Hooked up with Tom in 2021, and basically it was through Facebook. He had put up an ad saying that he was looking for a band to jam with or people to start a project with.
Yeah.
Reached out to him, and 15, 20 minutes later, he hit me back. He direct messaged me and said, yeah, I'd be interested in checking it out. So
Cool.
basically had him come to a practice, a couple of weeks later, and the rest kind of is history.
Right on. Did you ever gig with this band, Shark in the Water?
No, but I like him, and I
Yeah.
like what I've seen.
Yeah, they're really cool. How about the band Bomb and Scary? Do you remember David Sandoval? He was in a Magica, same band Norman was in, and then he started up Bomb and Scary with. You ever heard of them? I just thought you may have
memory
played
doesn't
shows
serve
with them.
me right.
So.
Honestly, I'm on the bad side of remembering things.
Well,
you know.
just for the record, I did mention that because Brian goes to a lot of shows and supports a lot of bands. So as we all try to do in our local scene, it's not about us in our projects, we always try to, shed as much light as possible on other local artists, like Project Mayhem AD and Shark in the Water and all these bands. I mean, look up Claymation Horror Show. We have a great Bay Area scene here. There's so many great bands that have come and gone. So what's coming up next for you? I mean, you got gonna work out some stuff and get back to playing shows. I guess maybe in 2006, 26, yeah.
That's actually the plan right now. We're looking to audition some drummers and see who's out there. We think we've solved the bass player problem with John Howell, who's the original bass player of Tom's original band, Circus of Fear. So we're just playing it by ear, kind of laying low. We went on a little 5-year run here, and we're just taking our time doing it and just want to put it together. And future plan is to put another EP out on Headbangers Records.
Yeah.
That's the long-term goal.
With this new lineup, which would be awesome.
Yeah.
So what I like about Brian, I met him recently, and it was pretty cool because he was wearing a Motorhead shirt. And anytime I see anybody wearing a Motorhead shirt, I have to go up and express my love for Motorhead. Then I got to meet Lemmy 3 times, Cow Palace during Exotic Erotic Ball, the NAMM show, and then in Florida with Slayer and Overkill on the bill with Motorhead. Lemmy's one of the true pioneers and rock and roll outlaws that did it his way for sure. And besides Motorhead being one of your many influences, I mean, name a bunch of bands like, I know we're 80s guys, we're the same age, so what really rocks your world from back in the day in the metal rock genre? Yeah.
Well, I'll give you just kind of a little spectrum in a nutshell. To give you an idea, metal-wise, I like Satan, I like Oz, I like Hallows Eve, Autopsy, Dark Angel, just to name a few. In rock, I like a lot of Brian Eno. I love David Bowie, Spiders from Mars era, 74, roughly around there. A lot of Thin Lizzy, all different lineups, from the original lineup to the 2 guitar playing lineup. Just a lot. I mean, just a wide variety of stuff.
Also, what I like about you too is that we talked about this. Is I'm from Florida, where great bands like Sabotage, Crimson Glory, also the death metal scene. Death, Obituary, Morbid Angel, Cannibal Corpse. This was my scene, but I had a lot of love for Bay Area thrash metal. Our boys in the Laz Rocket, Legacy, Became Testament, Exodus, all the greats, Forbidden Evil, Violence, Mordred. So, and another scene that really did it for me, I call it the triangle. It was like Florida death metal, Bay Area thrash metal, and New York hardcore. And if y'all don't know, look it up. I mean, as long as we have YouTube and Wikipedia, you can find out about bands like Leeway, Crumbsuckers, Cro-Mags, Agnostic Front, Ludachrist, all these bands that were really made a difference on the crossover scene, kind of like Suicidal Tendencies, DRI, Dirty Rotten Imbeciles. Is like, it was punk and metal, and I'm more of a metal guy, but I got more into punk through bands like this in the New York hardcore scene. So check out the movie Godfathers of Hardcore, with Agnostic Front. And
Excellent.
There's been bands coming from that scene later on, Hatebreed, Biohazard. Give us your love for, that's another influence for you besides Bay Area thrash metal, is this New York hardcore scene. You lived there for a while. Give me some shows you may have seen that stood out with bands like this and other bands.
Basically, there wasn't too many shows because when I lived in New York, I was pretty young then.
Okay.
But,
okay.
I mean,
but you had appreciation for this scene after.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I love, like, if you're talking Florida, New York, or whatever. I mean, I love Atheist. Cynic is great.
Yeah.
I love Nasty Savage.
Oh, they're one of the great.
Fucking,
Nasty Ronnie.
I mean,
wow.
they're legendary, and the list goes on. I mean, on and on.
And so you like a lot of New York stuff, a lot of Florida stuff. What about, so you spent more time in Florida. What about any shows that you...
Was too young.
Okay, too young there too.
Yeah.
So most of your live show experiences were in the Bay Area, whether you're performing or going
to shows.
Yeah. So what were some shows that you saw away from playing your own that were, give me 5 like mind blowing concerts that
Okay.
fucking